Hi, this is Moby. Welcome to The Fire Show. Ladies and gents, welcome to The Fire Show, where your favorite idiot, I hope I'm your favorite, me, interviews experts about entrepreneurship, marketing, and working your face off. Today, I am over at the Fund Conference, which was held in Austin, which was held in Texas for the first time this April. It was brought over by the Fund Conference in Chicago, by Deloitte, and Sonsini. You've never heard something like this on The Fire Show. While we've covered the topic of investing, we've never had 12 people in a single show. And this includes investors, entrepreneurs, founders, people who run incubators, all of them. I won't go through the names right now because you won't remember, and also they will introduce themselves at the end. Don't worry about keeping track of who's who, just listen closely, especially if you're about to raise money. That's because we're talking about how the hell entrepreneurs can get funding through conferences, through connecting with people, how they can get funding when making a personal connection, and what they should be doing in and out of conferences. Fun fact, this was also live streamed on the Entrepreneur Network and shared to 4 million people. 4 million people did not watch it, but the show is getting bigger and it was fun. You can watch snippets of this show on Fund Conference's Facebook page and also my new YouTube channel, Not That Moby, where I don't know what I do, I'll figure it out. But I have snippets from shows, check it out. Also, I invite you to the Fund Conference on October 24th and 25th in Chicago, where I will be there. Yes, that's what I said. Live streaming the hell out of the entire thing. Thank you, ladies and gents, for always listening. This is Moby, and check out the episode.
And we are live.
Hello, welcome, Facebook. Hello, welcome to the Fund Conference. The first time we're having this in Austin, Texas. In Texas, we're super excited. Where are my Texans at? Woo! Woo! Yeah! All right, perfect. I'm super excited to do this live on Entrepreneur Network. I'm super excited. We're doing this on Entrepreneur Network, like the Fund Conference, brought to you by Deloitte, Sonsini, and Entrepreneur Network. We're going to have an informal conversation about support, what entrepreneurs need, and funding, and what conferences do. Because people love conferences, but what do they actually do, and what do they get out of it when they come? So, we have a collection of entrepreneurs, speakers, and investors today. And this is going to be very informal. Feel free to jump in, out, tell me that I suck as a moderator, and just have fun. And Facebook, leave some comments. We have people, can you pan over there and show our wonderful audience as well? He's doing it too slow. We're going to come back to me. And so, leave any comments. We want to interact with you. We want to know what you think. If you leave any questions, we're going to answer them as much as possible. All right. First question. Anyone jump in. Why do conferences matter for entrepreneurs? What do they get out of these conferences? Why did you come to this conference?
I would say, I'm an investor, but I think why, if I were an entrepreneur, I would come here is because of connections, the ability to ideate, so to have kind of some thinking and inspiration, and the ability to see what other people are doing and what other people are disrupting.
Do you think it's a better place? It's a really unique way to meet your target audience, whether it's entrepreneurs, better than just online or them reaching out to you on LinkedIn or just meetups?
It's definitely more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a people business. I mean, startup entrepreneurs is you invest because you believe in the people. Of course, great idea, great business behind it, but ultimately, so meeting a lot of people at the same place is absolutely crucial. So we're an investor. We're looking for startups to join our accelerator. So we want to meet as many as possible and many one-on-one so we can understand what they're made of, because that's ultimately the biggest predictor of success.
Yeah, and the conversation of access to capital, there's money, always putting money forward, but social capital is really the thing.
Yeah.
Really, you need social capital. The money comes from social capital. so if you can, also just if there's anybody you want to meet, you can look online and see where we're speaking. And then make a point to come there. So investing in coming to a conference is investing in you gaining more social capital and potentially more financial.
And being seen and being respected and thought of as a part of the community.
Yep.
And I think the way you have it set up, where you have the exhibition room, so you have the companies there, 100 companies, it's very easy to go up and meet them and talk to the people. If people are there. Also, at the conference where the different companies present, give their 30-second pitch. It's a great way to get exposure to a lot of different companies. I'm an attorney. I work with a lot of high-tech companies and help them raise venture capital and do mergers and acquisitions and public offerings. So the reason we come to these conferences is, to be part of the ecosystem, meet these great companies, meet the great investors, meet the people that are running these accelerators, the incubators. This is just a great place to do it because all those people come together. So it's a very efficient way to meet a lot of great people.
Deals still get done. Like I gave a speech to college kids a little while ago. I said, how do you get the best job? How do you get the deals? After work, over a couple drinks, because everybody loosens up. At the end of the speech, one kid said to me, I don't drink. I said, it's okay, you can still go out and have a club soda, but you need to get out your social, and that's what these events are for. When you look face to face and you're real. You're not somebody behind a computer, you're not just a signature. You actually feel the passion that the entrepreneurs have and the investors feel that. And without that, it's tough to sell what you're selling.
There's also a key thing for the founders. It is a lonely, miserable existence being a founder. I mean, it really is. It's a grind every day. I've started companies, I feel for it. And it's lonely.
Yeah.
And too many people, the biggest mistake an entrepreneur can make is working in their business instead of on their business. So by taking that time out of the office to see other people that are having a similar struggle, that you're not completely crazy, you can build a support network to bounce off, even if it's different industries, even if you're never going to do concrete business together, because you're going to face the same challenges and the same learning experience of how do you raise money, how do you market, how do you blitz scale, where do you find talent. And it really doesn't matter what the business is. Everybody faces the same hurdles. And at a conference like this, you can realize that you're not alone.
Yeah,
which is
and
awful.
I think that's really what I would say the biggest value is. Most often we think coming to the fund conferences to find investors to get funding, but there's a clear value in seeing other entrepreneurs and talking to them and understanding we're all in the same boat. You're totally not alone or crazy.
Yeah.
That's a huge value that most entrepreneurs sort of don't realize, but I think that's of equal value than, considering meeting investors as well.
So what I'm hearing from this wide variety of perspectives, it's the relationships that you create, these things, the discussions, which is interesting that you said that too, which is you come to a person and say, oh, I have that problem too, I suck at that too. That's creates got a bond. So we can talk about conferences all the time, but let's talk about like funding at conferences. Have the investors in this place ever met someone at a conference and invested in them over the next 12 months?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, in the springtime, WildCatters is all about finding the greatest entrepreneurs. The biggest problem for us is, by definition, they're really, really early. So you got to go to places where they are, but no, they're not going to be famous yet, and they don't have big followings, and they haven't been funded yet. So we got to be there. So we have to be at the conferences. We have to go meet them. We've got to go find. So half of the ones that end up in our class, I will have met somewhere else, and conferences are one of the biggest.
So using that face-to-face connection. Yeah. Everyone said, go ahead.
We're in I'm the founder of Black Girl Ventures, and we're in the alternative finance kind of space. So we use crowdfunding and pitching. And so when I'm in these spaces, I'm meeting minority founders, which it's rare. We focus on Black and brown women, and like certain conferences, it may be only 3 of us. and so when that happens, of course, I'm like, hey, yes, we need to figure out how can we push you forward. What kind of funding can I get you? How can I connect you to angels that I know? How can I push you forward? So these spaces are particularly important because the founders that are here are founders that are looking to raise.
Yeah,
and
they're serious about this.
They're serious about it, and I'm looking for them, and they're looking for me. So it's like a perfect match.
So people said, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I look for an investment, I believe I'm investing in people. And so having the space to get to know people is very important at a conference like this.
A lot of people said yes, so I'm just going to kind of roll that into the next question. What can people do, or what have you done in the past, and what have you done in the past as entrepreneurs to get attention of the people who have access to money, or even resources, or other kind of mentorship? How do they stand out at a conference like this? And did you see any examples today at Fund Conference, brought to you by Deloitte? And, oh my God, I gotta spell this. Wilson Sonsini! That's called marketing. Did you see something that was great?
I saw more misses than hits.
Okay.
You have a split second to make an impression on a crowded floor. Having a name that you were able to get the URL because it's unpronounceable, no one does, and a tagline that doesn't say what it does, no one's going to pry out of you your genius idea. So, you know, have your elevator pitch down and be able to do that one sentence 1,000 times all day long. So by the end of the day, the two booths next to you can switch and they can do and talk about your business. And the more clear you can make it, everybody walking by is not interested in your business. So you need to separate those that are looking for something in that sector from those that will never be.
Yeah.
And I literally had some conversations with people where I'm like, I still have no idea what they do, and I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I like you, want to give you money, but what'd you do?
Do your homework on the speakers, and don't come and try to pitch me, right? Like, just come and talk to me. I'm a person, you're a person. If I'm going to invest in you, I'm going to, right? So, but it's to your benefit to get to know the person, I would say. Even, you know, and this may seem kind of weird, but do your research ahead of time, like know what they're talking about on Twitter, know their LinkedIn, and approach me with something that lets me know you know who I already am. And that I'll probably be more intrigued to keep talking to you.
And that's a great point. Do your homework if you see, you know, and I will encourage more of this, but I speak at a lot of conferences, and there's always a handful of people that did their research, know whatever, come up with a specific agenda, and I appreciate it because they're valuing my time as well.
And they should be able to do that in 30 seconds, just like the program offered today, the 30-second pitches. That was more than enough time to get something out. Like, for me, at least, to say I should go see them face to face. So it's a great opportunity. You get 30 seconds, throw it out there, get it done. If you do, you're gonna have more visitors and quality.
If it's clear enough, if you're on point like the elevator page. This is what we do.
It totally depends on the company. It's like your point, because I sat there and you listen to 20 of those, and there's maybe 3 that you're going to remember something about. And the other ones, you know, it's like you say, it's not clear what the point is, or it's too complex. So I think being able to deliver that message, and that, like you said, it could be less than 30 seconds, but it's got to be something that grabs you.
But start before the 30 seconds, just ask a question of who that person is so that you know whether or not it's worth the 30 seconds or fits. I mean, when I was in my 20s and I had one computer with my whole company.
Are you watching another live video while we talk? He's watching
No interruption.
It's like, we're so bad he's watching something else.
I was literally at a conference, and Paul Allen, Bill Gates' partner, walks up to my thing. Obviously, I know who Paul Allen is, and zeroed in everything that I could think to do, and next thing you know, you're in business and partner with Microsoft.
Be prepared, do your homework.
And it'll be much easier to reach people that way than to track them down with emails, of which we're all buried with too many.
So let me ask you a question from the entrepreneurs in the room, right? You guys, I've heard you guys are busy with stuff, right? So what you said is completely valid. But how realistic is it to ask you to say, hey, spend a few days researching the hell out of everyone coming to the conference? Have you ever done that, or is that a problem for you?
No, I don't think everyone should be researching everyone who's coming to the conference. That's not even possible. The quick thing to do is to ask what you do and think on your feet. So I think entrepreneurs have a responsibility to be quick thinking a little bit. And so that's important. But when you're pitching to an audience of like 300, 400, 500 people, it's a little bit like a scattershot approach in marketing, where you should expect a 1% response. So the idea is, you pitch to 500 people, 5 people will come and talk to you. That should be your expectation. So go in with realistic expectations. The goal is to get the word out, and as many people that you can catch, great. Otherwise, then it's more targeted.
I agree. You can't really take time to do that. And you read most of people's profile, they make themselves sound a lot better than they really are.
Yes.
I mean, everybody's profile you read through it. Wow, I need to meet him and her. They're amazing. They've sold so many books. Everybody's a New York Times bestseller.
Oh, it's so good looking. So many Twitter followers.
Yeah, you really can't do that. But I think you need to talk to anybody. If you think that person may not be investment or walking by, there's nobody else around, still talk to them. They may know somebody else who may be interested in your company. How many times you just need to network? Get out there and tell your story. Tell it to anybody you can. Scream off the rooftops. That's what you need to do, because, yes, he may not invest in my company, but his neighbor may be interested in exactly what I do, and he's introduced me.
But this is the fund conference, though. So I'm not saying research every conference you go to, all the speakers at every conference, but this is one It because like it's called the Fund Conference. I would absolutely find time on a plane, on a whatever you do to commute to back and forth to your office, or at some point over while you're cooking dinner. Like I would be looking at my phone like, who are these people? Because this conference is titled the Fund Conference.
People
Now,
want to be working on their pitch more
should
than
you do that?
The
I mean,
pitches are where they
hopefully
work
you
on.
got that part down. If you're still working on that, you shouldn't even be
There's
researching.
a lot of people here who need to be working on pitches.
I think it's realistic to assume that you can meet 3 to 5 meaningful people in a day.
Agree.
Now, the more people in the room and the more targeted the conference is, the more that could be. If you have the 30-second commercial, to your point, that's enough to say rank, serial number, and I mean, your logo. I mean, if you're lucky, somebody will have one sentence about you, so that at least the person that invests in healthcare comes to you. If you're in healthcare, and not into transportation or IoT. So that's your goal. There's 5 people will hear you and say, you know what, I want to talk to this person. Same for you as the entrepreneur. You're looking at who's coming, and you're saying, you know what, these 3 investors are high on my list. That I'll see if I can't find them at the conference or arrange it or however it's set up. So I think it's realistic.
I mean, the most productive conferences for me has been doing exactly that. Especially in a conference like this where you're covering multiple industry. I don't want to waste my time talking to someone who'll only invest in healthcare, or nothing against you, Hubert, but...
I'm terribly offended. You should change your business and be in healthcare. I want to invest in this.
So we do live videos and offend people.
I'm in edtech, and that's a very niche market.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing my due diligence, I can take an hour and know exactly these are the 6 people who are in edtech. And I would reach out and see if I can set up a one-to-one 10-minute conversation with them. Just stop by my table. And those are the most productive conferences for me. Especially if I look at those 5 people, I would go look on LinkedIn to see if we have any common connections.
Yeah.
If I can get a pre-introduction before coming to the conference, that's even more productive.
One other thing that nobody brought up, which maybe I'm just mercurial, there's one other great asset that you can get here besides money. And that is half the companies that are in that room will not exist next year. If you're the ones that are successful, you're going to be scaling and looking for talent. The best place to get to know people is to talk to them when they're setting up their other booths and you have that downtime. See, oh, here's a brilliant engineer, and that idea ain't going anywhere.
Give me a card.
Give me a card. Well, he took
your
6 months.
LinkedIn is better. That URL doesn't work anymore.
And really to get in touch with talent, because one of the places that entrepreneurs forget that they have to really master their story is not just to the dangling cash in the room.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to be the Pied Piper and get people to follow your dream and want to come and work for you and pursue that dream and expand that dream. And so if you're starting with people that are already at startups, those are people that are pliable that you can get. So
because they care about that kind of lifestyle, they care about building things.
Inside track to get talent is at conferences.
Talent partner.
So I think the other point too is like you said, it's not practical to study ahead of time. Everybody's going to be there, but it's the follow up.
Yes.
So you hear somebody on a panel or you meet somebody who's giving a presentation, and then maybe you can't talk to them now, but you follow up later through social media, through the web, and all that. I met you at the conference, didn't get a chance to talk, or I met you at the conference, want to follow up, and you maintain those relationships afterwards.
Yeah.
That's actually the most important. Getting the follow-ups, because whether it's customer relationships, investor relationships, follow-up, persistence, those are the 2 things that count.
So one last kind of question. I love that you brought that up. I had a different question, but your follow-up about follow-up made me follow up on my question and think about it. How when people contact you, what is the line between being annoying and being like, oh yeah, this person is persistent, cool, or oh my god, I want to have a restraining order against this person?
There is none. So I really, so the people who write to me 25 times, I'll ignore them 25 times. 26 times, I'm like just so impressed. Listen, I have nothing to do with you, but I just wanted to talk to you because you're so persistent. That's, I think, the difference between the successful salespeople versus the not. It's just persistence. If I find them annoying or whatever, I have nothing to do with them, I find it annoying, I'll put you into spam or whatever. I do that.
Yeah.
But the people who keep persisting,
You can't work with entrepreneurs and not appreciate somebody persistent and going after you. Now, if that person is trying to sell you, like in my case, diapers, They're totally off. I don't have babies and I'm not in the diaper. But if it's something that could fit into what I do, I respect that. It may take a whole bunch of emails, especially if we never met one-on-one.
Yeah.
There's no tie-in at all.
Yeah.
But it may work eventually. I'll just say, you know what? And I did it this morning. I emailed somebody back and said, hey, dude, okay, I appreciate your persistence, so tell me. So there we go. But I can't say that anything will come
And
of it.
we're going to find
I respect it.
our new office like that. There was this, and it's a startup, and I'm impressed by them. They wrote many emails starting last year in July.
Oh, wow.
And now we said, okay, we're looking to move office. Thank you for continuing to write to us. And it's a very tailored email. I'm sure they use great CRM software. But it says my name, it says, hey, we spoke whenever, or we found you here, and I love it.
Yeah. As I said in my talk and in Disrupt You, there's only two things an entrepreneur needs. Insight, which you can learn and study where there's a market hole, and persistence, and that's it. And my favorite story is there was a very persistent saleswoman for a startup that pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And I relented, came into a meeting, pitched the whole company. I said, would you stay back for one moment? I have a question. The rest of our company leaves. I said, what would it take to get you to quit that company today and come work for me?
Yeah.
My checkbook is out. You're the most persistent person I've seen. And
Did it happen?
somebody else did the same thing.
Ooh,
and she ended up being the right hand of Reid Hoffman.
Oh,
She was amazing.
that good. So
Yeah.
it's okay to be annoying entrepreneurs. How many people are watching?
Yeah, but it's a fine.
100.
100 people are watching. I am telling you, 100 people. It's okay to be annoying.
Yeah, we should take Chuck's.
It's a fine line to walk. I mean, I've had people like hack my Calendly so they can,
Well,
schedule calls with me and
it's
stuff
where
like
are you
that.
being persistent, okay? So there's etiquette. Ooh, you have my personal cell phone number.
Don't text me at night, like at midnight.
You use that once.
Right.
That's your, if I get another one,
Yeah.
I'm like blocking the number.
I've had crazy calls, past midnight, text messages throughout the night, stuff like that. So they won't
Give me money, all
Wait,
caps at 2 a.m.
Wait, this was my all-time favorite one. My assistant brought in a big box, and in it was a metal spaghetti strainer
Yeah.
and dates. And there was a note that said, I apologize, but my assistant got it wrong. I was trying to get a date on your calendar. Colander. And I said, the person made me laugh. They're getting a meeting.
Okay.
I love that.
I love that. That's cute. Okay. Yeah. Paul?
Crazy.
Hey, Paul, any questions on the feed that we should answer?
No, but folks are saying hello.
Hello.
Ask them some questions. There are a few hundred people right now.
Tell them who they are.
It's HQ $5,000 if you get this question right.
Yeah. Jay, you want to tell them who you are? And then everyone else can do the same? Not that I'm just being like, no, only you tell us.
Jay Samit, author of Disrupt You. Teach you how to be successful in the world of endless innovation.
Chuck Pettid, Republic crowdfunding portal, co-producer of Meet the Drapers on Sony for founders to come pitch Tim, Bill, and Jesse Draper, try to get some money raised, and also let the crowd invest in them at the same time.
I thought that was a play on Don Draper.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, but
He's pretty cool.
so's Tim.
Tim, you were wonderful too.
I'm Shelley Bell, founder of Black Girl Ventures. We work to create access to capital for Black and brown women entrepreneurs. Our signature event is a pitch competition. It's a crowd-funded pitch competition where we raise money at the door and we fund the founder that wins.
Perfect. Cool. I go last. I have that.
You go
one
last,
myself.
you go
Yes,
last, okay.
Yes.
Hubert Zajicek, I run Health WildCatters. It's a healthcare fund and seed accelerator in Dallas and Texas. So invest in early stage healthcare startups. So bring them on.
Boom.
I like that name.
I'm
WildCatters.
Swati Chaturvedi, CEO and co-founder of Propel X, which connects deep technology startups with investors, accredited investors worldwide. So deep technology means companies that are founded on a scientific discovery or significant engineering innovation, whether it's material space, what have you.
Not Snapchat. That's a
Not
joke.
Snapchat.
No one laughed. Fine.
Not
Please.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Rob Suffoletta, I'm a partner with Wilson Sonsini, Goodrich, and Rosati. Sonsini is the right way to pronounce the name. And we're a Silicon Valley-based law firm. We've been focusing on representing entrepreneurs for 60 years now, and I've been in Austin. We have an office here. It's been open for 20 years, and we're happy to be here. It's a great tech community and has a lot of similarities to Silicon Valley.
Perfect. Cool. Well, thank you, everyone. My name is Moby. That's the name I picked for myself. True story. I'm not going to tell it right now. I host the Fire Show podcast in Austin, where I interview entrepreneurs about business tactics they use to grow and scale their businesses. And thank you, Fund Conference. RJ is hiding behind the camera, so I won't. No, don't pan. He's too far. But RJ, thank you so much. Fund Conference. Thank you, all our sponsors. Thank you, and especially you guys. Thank you for entertaining me and about quite a few hundred people and thousands later on. Boom, and we're done. As long as.